and in this tutorial I'm gonna explain you to about intents, and we will be also doing a simple demonstration about the how to use the intents to interact with your activity. So let's go, let's not waste the time, and let's go right to the code. Okay, so what is the intent actually? Okay, the intent is a Android, it's like a mechanism in Android to communicate between different components. Okay, so uh, 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 so as you know, like when you want to start a specific activity, so from a current activity, then during this specific purpose we need intent. Okay, so so specifying exactly which activity will start is called a explicit intent. So there are two kinds of intent. One is a explicit intent, which is pretty much you specify exactly which activity you want to start. Okay, you just specify explicitly. So we will be using this in our example. Okay, soon, right now, I mean, like, okay, in a while. And so there is another occasions when you want to get access to the system components, okay, such as the camera. So so you can't access these components directly, like for example camera, you can't access this directly. So you have to send an intent as a messaging mechanism. So you send a message using an intent to this component, so that you want to get access to. So uh, so these are pretty much called implicit intents. So you don't particularly, you cannot access the system components such as camera, right? So to access these system components you use implicit intents, by sending message using the implicit intents. So then we also have some other mechanisms of intent. That is, if you check out the Android manifest, we have a intent filter. So the an intent filter has to be set in order to register and respond to this event. So whenever we use implicit intents, we have to also use the intent filter to set up in order to register the to respond to these events. Okay, so if you check out the, for example, for intent filters, you have that one of the example that we are using for of intent filter is in the manifest file. As you can see here, that we have two intent filters. One is a intent filter with the action, and another is an intent filter with a category. So so as you can see, the one specified with the action, Android name Android intent action main. The action is pretty much specified as a action main, means that the main entry point of the app, this is the main entry point of this, this specifies that it's a main entry point of the into the app. Okay, and also the category pretty much just says that which activity has to be like category pretty much also say that if it is a, as you can see that the category value of the category is like a launcher, right? So pretty much it's should appear in the, it defines that it should appear in the launcher, right? So when we combine these two intents, it is pretty much defined as a main activity should be started. It's the main like the action is the main activity, and it is starting at the main entry point as a launcher. Okay, so if we remove one of these intent, if you remove intent filters, and if you run the application, you will be getting a or a error, okay, which is pretty much like default activity not found, right? Okay, let me remove this and try to run the application. Then obviously you see you could not identify launch activity, default activity not found, error while launching activity, say fail to launch the activity on all devices, because you know intent filter is very important here in this case. right? So once we restore our intent filter and if we run the application, we have the start intent activity which is being launched, and it is the first main activity with the so the main entry point of the app is the start activity, and it's being run as a launcher. Okay, so now let's walk on through the code. I mean, let's write some code, and let's understand. Let's create a simple activity which is pretty much using an explicit intent to start another activity. So we are pretty much using this start intent activity to start another activity called welcome activity. All right. So let me. Uh, Let me get some strings here. Okay, so we need a intent app header title. Okay, so it's like please enter your name and then get started. Okay, so and the second one will be like a text is, it will be pretty much like hello, hope you enjoy this app. Okay. Enter full name. Submit. Okay, so we have declared all our strings, necessary strings. So let's go to our start activity start intent, and let's create the essential UI items. Okay. Okay, so we need we pretty much need edit text, and so let's we need a edit text. Okay, which is pretty much like and we also need a button. Okay, so edit text, it is like text, and button is also submit button. Okay, and we have to also pretty much assign the constraints top to top of parent, and start to start of parent, and end to end of parent. Okay, similarly we assign the constraint here top to bottom of intent full name edit text, start to start of parent, end to end of parent. Okay, and we have to also have the hint here, full name. Okay, and size. Okay, let's make it 16. And similarly we also need size 20. Text is button, is submit. Okay, intent app submit text. Okay, so pretty much it will be something like this one, and let's put the top margin of 8 dp, make it 16. Okay, so let's run our application. Okay, finally we have this application, which is pretty much enter your full name and submit it, right? So okay, now what we need to do is we need to start or use our explicit intent and start our another activity, which is called welcome activity. So let's also set up our welcome activity. Content viewer, those layout. Okay, welcome activity. So we also have to create our welcome activity, and which we will have is welcome text, and which will pretty much the welcome text is here, and what else we need to do is text size is 20, and let's make a padding of 8 dp, and okay, so I think we are pretty much okay with our welcome activity. Okay, so we have to use our start intent activity to using the explicit intent. We have to call when we click the submit button, we have to call the welcome activity, right? So let's do it. It's a button, it's a submit button, set on click listener, full name is edit text, edit text, text to string. Okay, so if full name is not empty, then we have to set the name to the activity, set the name of the activity to launch. Okay, so we have to set the name of the activity to launch. Okay, and okay, let's set our activity to launch. Now the activity is like a welcome intent. Like, no, it's a welcome activity, but we are using intent, explicit intent, to launch this activity. So I'm explaining you how to do this. Okay, so this welcome activity, and then what we have to do, we used to have to also, we have to pass, actually we pass our pass the value to the next activity, that is a welcome activity, right? So how do we pass the value? Is we can pass, use the similar, we have to pass the intent as extras. So okay, so for that uh, we have to create the extras, right? So we forgot to create the extras. So let's create a companion object with a no, it cannot be a companion object, because we are putting the extras, which is pretty much also accessible from welcome activity. So what we have to do is we have to create some a constant. Okay, let's create a constant value here. uh, Constants. Okay, we have to create a constant value, which is a full name. We need a key, actually. It's a full key. Okay, we have a full name key. Okay, it's not a companion object. Okay, we need a full full name key. We pass the full name here. Okay, so this is how we pass the values to the as extras to the activity that we are gonna start. So we start the activity using start activity, passing the intent that we have created, that is welcome intent. And then if the full name is empty, then we just pretty much toast the message that says that please enter your full name, right? And then finally you have to show your toast. Okay, so okay, now let's run the application, and let's submit it. Yeah, enter your full name. Obviously you have not entered it. Is okay, submit it. Yeah. Okay, yes, we are missing this implementation part. Okay, so we are able to start our activity, but still we miss uh, we miss the accessing of the values, right? So we have passed the extras, but how do we retrieve the extras? Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is, if your intent is not null, okay, that you are, and then you get the full name using the get string extra, and the name of the extra is a full is app constants full name key. Okay, and finally we have to set the view. Okay, uh, okay, it's like welcome activity, right? And it's a text. So text, then we have to pass the value that is a full name. uh, okay, uh, uh, okay, text get string string dot welcome text and full name. Okay, so yeah, we are good to go, and let's click and rerun our application, and let's enter our name, submit it. You see, hello Niranjan Khatri, we hope you enjoy this application. So yeah, it's we learned this interesting concept of how to use intent, explicit intent, to start the activity, pass the extras, and retrieve the extras and update the view. Okay, so this is a pretty simple concept but very useful, basic fundamentals, and hope you like it. And please do subscribe, comment, and if you have any questions, please comment, like, subscribe, and just share. Thank you.